Vamos. All right, I think I finally got my act together here. Missing the first set. Apologies for that. Life happens. I was late. Northern Lights, as you watched, dropped set number 1, 25-18. This is day 2 against Vital, 15-4 Black. See if we got a bounce back coming from our favorite Northern Lights athletes. 15 Xenon. Brought to you by Splay Brock Sports Network and Sam McKay at Easy Reels. Again, deepest apologies for the tardiness. Wish I could say had something to do with that first defeat. We'll see if I get commission here when we come back and win this one in 3. Vital, a club out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota, just down the road. Coincidentally, had lunch with a father and grandmother yesterday of this very crew. And we're going to start set number 2 right now. Serve over. Gleason sends it up. Higuashvili sends it over. Halbersma, free ball into the deep 5. It works. Unconventional, but will take it. As Northern Lights earns the first point. Stadler into serve. Good serve. Sent up high over ball. Higuashvili sends it back off the deflection, out of play, and quickly 2-0 Northern Lights in set 2. Stadler waiting for the ball. There she has it. And here she goes. Down the line once again. That one's sent up nicely. Strong side attack coming. Big swing over the block. Gleason lunges. Can't get to it. Point Vital. Slight tip at the net off the block. Took some pace off the ball. And it fell in front of a lunging Jenna Gleason. Serve over. It's a good one. Munson goes down to get it. Stadler sends it back, and Halbersma free ball over. Here comes Vital. Middle attack coming. It's straight to the floor cleanly, and it's 2-2 in set number 2. Match 1. Vital toss high. Serve is everyone in the building thought it was long, except for the lines judge thought it was in, and it's an ace serve. 3-2, 3 quick points out of Vital, and they've retaken the lead. Another ace serve cleanly to the floor. Northern Lights fooled by this knuckling serve out of Kendry Johnson for Vital. Another rocket serve. Gleason goes down. Perfect pass. Stadler outside. Halbersma off the high hands. Picked up by Vital. Going to come right or strong side off the block and to the floor. Everything working for Vital as they've run 5 points in a row after Northern Lights got off to a very quick 2-0 start. Johnson continues at the service stripe. Mixture of aces and attacks. Stadler wants Fettrell. Fettrell steps into a cross-court bomb. Sent back over on 2. Munson is there. Stadler into, Stadler on 2. Into the ring of fire for the setter dump. Kill. Just what the doctor ordered for Northern Lights. And now let's see what Elba Tau can do. She goes to work. Fires one into the 1. Good pass in system. Strong side attack. Not coming. Point Lights. Now Tau will serve to tie things back up at 5. Off the net cord. picked up out of system. Strong side attack down the line, finds the net. Point, Northern Lights. Tao goes short this time. Nice pickup. Free ball coming. There it is. Tao is underneath it. Stadler goes outside. Gleason down the line. It finds the line for the kill. Jenna Gleason makes good from the left side down the line. 6-5. That's deep into the one. Picked up. Tipped over, blocked back. Here comes Vital middle attack now. Blocked by Giguashvili for the point. Northern Lights. Stuff block. Giguashvili, and now Lights up 7-5. Good bounce back as that serve finds the top of the net. Falls back on the Lights side. 7-6. Ball goes back to Vital. Libero sends it over. Nice pass. Too tight to the net. Point Vital. And now we're back to a 7-7 tie. Libero sends it over. Munson sends it up high. Stadler outside to Gleason. Gleason down the line. Picked up by Vital. They're going to come strong side attack over the block. Tao, nice job getting down onto it. Stadler outside to Gleason. Nice swing, picked up by Vital. Back row attack by the Libero sent over. Munson is there. Stadler goes back to Halbersma. Halbersma lets it rip into the 6. Dug up high. Free ball coming from the left side off the net cord. It's a good one for the kill. A lucky net cord there for Vital. And Libero Ella Schaefer will continue at the service stripe. That serve is long. Point Northern Lights. 8-8 on court 15. Munson back to serve. Munson into the 6. Fought off. Free ball coming. Rolled over, but wide. Point Northern Lights. Lights back on top. 9-8 here in set number 2. They drop set 1. Fighting for their match lives here. Day 2 of pool play. Good serve. Falls in front of the defensive player for Vital for an ace. Munson with the ace, and now 10-8. Lights leads. Munson again, this time to the 1. Lunging pass, picked up nicely. Dante sends over the free ball. Vital off the high hands. Tao with the dig. Stadler on 2. Can't find that hole. Free ball coming, and there it is. Munson is there. Stadler with options into Dante. Big swing to the floor. Dante scores for Northern Lights. There's the side-by-side chanting going on. Northern Lights now up 11-8. Munson continues at the stripe. Good serve off the net cord. Rolls over for the ace. Munson scores for Northern Lights. Munson now with a 4-point lead. Launches that one. It's long. Point Vital. Good strength on that serve. Just too much air underneath it. Floated long, and now Vital comes in to serve. This is Finley Meehan. Meehan sends it over. Tao sends it up perfectly to Stadler. Stadler outside to Gleason. Gleason down the line. It's good. Gleason scores for Northern Lights. 13-9 now. Northern Lights leads. With Sakura in to serve. 4-point advantage. Sakura up. Sakura into the 6. Good pass. Strong side attack. Tipped over. Gleason sends it up high. Sakura goes back to Stadler. Stadler roll shot over the block. Into the ring of fire for the kill. 14-9 now. The lead's a handful. All fingers in play for Northern Lights and the lead. Sikora into the short one. It's over. Gleason sends it up high. Sikora back to Stadler. Tip. Short. Point. Vital. Substitutions on the Vital side. In to serve is Amelia Weiss. Sends it over. Munson is there. Sikora into Dante over the block. Nice pickup by Vital. Two-hander over. Munson is there. Sikora is going to go back to Gleason. She rips one into the 6. Dug up nicely. Sent over on 2. Double contact called. Point. Northern Lights. Jenna Gleason back to serve now with a 5-point advantage. Gleason goes short. Picked up nicely by Weiss. Sent across. Ripped down the line. Sikora with the dig. Munson right into the middle. Dante's going to two-hander over. Here comes Vital. Strong side attack. Big swing. It's over the block. Gleason with the dig. Sikora's going to go outside. Fettrell rips it into the deep 5, and scores. Fettrell scores for Northern Lights, and now they lead by 6. 16-10. Northern Lights on top. Pool play. You don't like to win in 3, but you definitely want to win over a loss. Let's see if Gleason, a serve. See if Northern Lights can battle back here and pick this up. Timeout called. There's the Northern Lights call from the fans. They're here in full force. We did have a little discussion after the day ended yesterday about the potential that it was actually the fans that weren't revved up enough versus the players. I don't know. We'll see. The fans promised a better effort today. We'll see if we get it. Lights breaks the huddle quickly. And that serve sails long. That is a coach's point, as we like to call it. Service error out of a timeout. We give credit to the coaches. Point Vital. Serve over. Munson gets underneath it. Good pass. Sikora into the middle. Dante smashed into the 6-1 seam. That one works. Point Northern Lights. Big time attack by Dante out of the middle. Scores for Northern Lights. Dante then launches the ball deep. Point Vital, and now Vital to serve. Good strong serve. Gleason goes down to get it. Sikora sends it up high. Stadler stays on the tile and sends it over for the kill. Stadler backing off, stays on the tiles, which she needs to do, and sends a looper into the 1-2 seam for the kill. And now she'll serve with a 7-point lead. Good rocketing serve into the 5-6 seam. Picked up by Vital. Free ball coming. Doesn't make it. Point Northern Lights, and they win the race to 20. 20-12. Paige Stadler at the service stripe. Set 2. Lights down 1-0. Tough serve. Fought off. Back row attack sent over. Gleason is there. Stadler with options. Giguashvili tips it into the ring of fire. Point Northern Lights. They now lead by 9, 21-12 here at the Temples of Syrinx. Sent short now, and Paige Stadler working quickly with another ace serve. Finds the floor, 22-12. The R1's got this court moving quickly. That's maybe why we started early. And Stadler with another rocket. Free ball coming. There it is. Gleason's there. Stadler goes back to Helbersma. Splits the block. Hammers to the floor. Helbersma makes good into the 5-6 team. And Northern Lights rolling here. It's 23-12. They have momentum. And Stadler Again, another wicked serve, ace serve, Paige Stather. Boy, that thing was floating to the left with pace. And now Paige Stather on the hook for set number 2 and to even this match at 1 set apiece. Stather, aggressive serve, finds the net. And all of the other parents are looking for a round off the service error on the hook. If you don't quite get that one, reach out and we'll explain it later. 24-13, Northern Lights on top. Vital sends a rocket over, it's long, and Northern Lights takes set number 2, 25-13. I've got a bit of setup to do. We got a special treat for you here. We'll do a live listen-in to Minnesota Wild hockey.
Picks it up here for Dallas. Johnston tried to deflect it out to center. Bork picks it up there for the Stars. Off the stick of Robertson. Faber whacks it back the other way. Boldy in pursuit. Boldy works against Lindell. Threw it back against the grain. Tried to connect with Urov. Johansson pounces on it.
Wild down 1-0 if you're not watching at home.
Boldy tried to jump around Heiskanen. Heiskanen avoids his check, gives it to Lindell.
Well, it's been interesting to watch Boldy without Eriksson because roles change a little bit. No Eck. Well, that leaves somebody to have to do the board work and the body battles, and it's been not Boldy. And with that, he's not the guy receiving the play in open ice, and the shifts just haven't been as successful.
Brodin circles out from behind the net, got it ahead to Faber. Lost it to Steele, then Faber takes it back down the slot. Poke checked away by Bischel. Tarasenko scoops it up. Looking for Hartman in the slot, taken away by Ritz-Kovian. Steele crisscrosses with him at center, gives to Bischel a shot right on. And a save by Gustafsson. Our DirecTV new era focuses on the Wild young centerman Hunter Haight, just 21 years old. That's the first NHL point with an assist against the Hawks here Thursday night. And this game.
All right, back getting ready for volleyball. Here's your live listening to the Minnesota Wild in a first round playoff preview. Dallas Stars in town, just down the highway here, and we're going to start set 3. We're racing to 15. Don't go far, as this one will happen quickly. Looks like the R2 is still evaluating the rotation on the Vital side. She points out the captain for Vital, for captain in this set, number 21, Taylor Guth. And Stather starts at 3 now. Good corkscrewing serve into the 1. Nice, perfect pass. Right side attack, two-hander over. Munson goes down to get it and sends it back over. Here comes Vital. They're going to come strong side. Big swing off the block. Munson with the dig. Stather, we get a net violation called on Northern Lights, and Vital takes point 1 of set 3. Serve over. Munson passes up to Stather. Stather wants Fettrell. Big swing. Cross-court winner. Fettrell goes into the 1-2 seam for the kill. 1-1. Here, set 3. Towel in. Fettrell gets a break. Set 3 on court 15. Towel sends it over. Picked up nicely. Middle attack coming off the block. Thought we were in the net again, not called. Gleason with a big swing off the block, picked up by the libero. They're going to come outside, strong side attack. It's up, over, and in. It was a lofting shot. It looked out off the hand, but it didn't have much pace, and it just fell and dropped right in to the corner for the kill. Kendry Johnson to serve for Vital. Good strong serve. Nice pass Munson. Back to Halbersma. Big swing. Finds the net. Point Vital, and now they're up 3-1. Another serve. Oh, boy, that's a good serve. Munson, great pass. Stadler's going to go outside. Gleason steps into it off the block, high into the air. Picked up, and now free ball coming from the back row. There it is. Munson is there. Stadler into the middle. I missed a call. Looks like they were in the net. We'll take the point. Floor captain asking a question about a roof. They want to talk to the R2. I kind of missed what happened here. I looked up into the lights and kind of got a little bit blinded. 4 contacts is what the executive producer says. I didn't see it, but she did. That's why she's here. 4 contacts called. Point Northern Lights. 3-2 the score. Munson into the 6. Picked up there. Strong side attack. Nope. Free ball over. Tao is there. Stadler with options. She's going to go outside to Gleason. Gleason hammers it down the line, but it's a little long. Point to Vital, and now Vital 4-2 as Northern Lights doubled up here. Good strong serve. Tao sends it up high. Stadler chases it down. Dante sends it over. Sent outside. Big swing from the left side. Finds the net. Point Northern Lights. 3-4 now as Sikora will come in and serve. Halbersmo will get a break. Sikora steps, fires down the line. Good serve. It's fouled off. Free ball coming. There it is. It's a high one. Tao goes back to get it. Sikora into the middle. Dante off the high hands. Picked up in the back row. Over ball. Sent back by Dante. She goes up with 2 hands. A little tricky swipe to the left. Puts her down to the floor. Point Northern Lights. And we're locked in at 4. 4-4 the score here in set 3. Sikora serving. Sikora into the 6. Picked up nicely in system. Right side attack. Big swing. It's over the block. Scrambling our lights, and Gleason goes high and deep, but we've got a ball on the floor. It's a replay. Point, no one. 4-4 again in set 3. Sikora to serve. Sikora up. Sikora into the 6. Perfect pass in system. Middle attack. Block Dante. And free balled over by Dante. Good hustle by Munson to keep it alive. Middle attack again off the block. Sikora gets it up in the air. Tao sends it skying, and Munson free ball in the deep 1. Picked up by Vital. Right side attack. Big swing down the line. Munson gets it up in the air. Tao sends it up high. Gleason underneath it. Roll shot over. Picked up by Vital. They're going to come strong side. Big swing over the block. That one's long. Good defense by Northern Lights to earn that point, and now Sikora will serve with the lead. 5-4 in set 3. Northern Lights 33% of the way home. Sikora down the line. Good serve. Nice pass. Right side attack coming. No, net's in the way. Point Northern Lights. 6-4 now. Sikora continues at the service stripe. 2-point lead. Sikora toss, strike into the 1. Middle attack sent over on 2. Not sent over. Just sent into the net. Point Northern Lights, and now Northern Lights leads 7-4. Sikora. Toss. Short serve. It's dropping. Northern Lights more than halfway home here on the ace serve. Sikora. Crowd participation. Northern to my right. Lights to my left, or maybe it's vice versa. Sikora 8-4. Good serve, deep 1. Sent up high by Schaefer. Strong side attack coming. Free balled over. Tao gets there. Sikora with options. Runs it back to Stadler. Off the net. To the floor. Stadler scores for Northern Lights. And it's 9-4. And Vital wants a timeout. Let's go back to Minnesota Wild Hockey.
He had to be more the responsible guy. Now with Spurgeon or Brodeen, right, he can be a little bit more in attack mode.
Right.
Bork to the corner. I got you. You were correcting my first sentence, not my second one.
But we got there.
We got there. Gustafson hangs on here. And a face-off coming in the Minnesota zone.
All right, face-off coming Minnesota zone. Minnesota still down 1-0. I should probably get you the radio feed so that you can actually hear some more play-by-play. But let's get back to action here. Sikora with a 5-point lead, 9-4 in set 3. Sikora goes down the line. It's a good serve picked up by Vital. Middle attack, nope, two-hander over. Tao is there. Sikora again with options, goes outside. Gleason steps into it and hammers it into the 5-6 seam. Straight to the floor, clean to the floor. Kill by Gleason. And Sikora has Northern Lights in double digits. 10-4, Big Buddy. Set 3, 2/3 of the way there. Sikora deep one. Too deep. Just barely missed that one. Service error gives the ball back to Vital. Vital now to serve, down 5. This is Mihan in to serve. Mihan up, Mihan over. Munson fights it off. Nice pass. Sikora goes back to Gleason. She goes through the block to the floor. Gleason with the kill scores for Northern Lights, and now it's 11-5. Northern Lights on top in set 3. Gleason to serve. Gleason into the 6. Picked up by Schaefer. Back to Schaefer. Keeps her feet. Sends it over. Gleason goes down to get it. Sikora to Stadler. Nice play. Stadler keeping it in. Free balled over. Munson to Sikora into the middle. Dante can't quite get up to grab it. And it's a point. Vital. Substitutions on the Vital side. This is Amelia Weiss in. She will serve. Weiss sends it over. Good serve. Monson gets it up. Fetchell's going to help. Stadler from the right side over the block. Picked up by Schaefer. Guth goes outside. Big swing down the line. Finds the net. Point Northern Lights, and now it's 12-6. Northern Lights has Vital doubled up here, later stages of set number 3. Dante to serve. Dante into the 6. Ace serve, Dante. I think a little indecision by Vital on whether or not to play that one, and it deflects over the stands into court 16. Dante back to serve, 13-6 lead. Dante goes short, picked up by the front row. Schaefer's going to go outside, launched over. Dante with the dig. Sikora with options. Giguashvili tips it over the block, picked up by Vital. Right side attack, that's a good one. Dug up by Sikora. Nice job, Dante, keeping it alive. And Stadler sends it over. Fetchell on the block, and we're going to step aside quickly for that. Dante on the hook, sends it over, 14-6. Trouble, it's down, set 3 to Northern Lights, and let's listen to the replay.
Wilder in their own zone, and Quinn Hughes, his eyes in the back of his head, out battles, sees Brink flying through the middle of the ice. Good pickup from Brink on the backhand, and then the finish. Gets Ottinger sliding. When Ottinger just bit on that first move to the forehand, he's sliding hard to his left, can't recover to the right.
All right, Wild tied things up in St. Paul. Nice breakaway by Brink. He fakes right, goes left, and shovels it into the empty net. Past Ottinger, the Lakeville native. 1-1 the score, but most importantly here on court 15, your Northern Lights have taken down Vital 15 Black. It took 3 sets to do so, but they bounce back and get it done. They'll get an hour off, and we'll be back in an hour with match number 2 on the day of this pool play. Thanks for watching, and we'll be with you shortly.